Hi there. Being stuck at home on the work page or on a weekend means that today is a good day to do some slow cooking. And so here we have ourselves an 8-pound pork shoulder. Normally we could just put this in a Dutch oven and stick it in the oven for about 8 to 10 hours until it falls apart. And of course we've got a wonderful pulled pork that way. And there's certainly nothing wrong with that, but I felt like doing something a little bit different with this. We're going to slow roast this in such a manner that we will have a nice crisp crackling skin on top. So that requires a little bit of different preparation, but it's not difficult at all. And let's get started.
It was amazing how easy this dish was to prepare. In fact, I made it more difficult than necessary by preparing a coating of spices to cover the skin of the pork shoulder. Since this was going to roast in an uncovered pot for at least 8 hours, I wanted to be sure it wouldn't dry out. Many recipes for roast pork say to score the skin with a knife, but that wasn't even necessary here. Simply coat the shoulder with spices, and I could have done this simply with salt, pepper, and garlic, and place it in a large cast iron pot. We cover the rack with parchment paper in order to keep the roast from sticking to the rack after several hours of cooking. The recipe said to simply roast the pork at 8 hours at 250 degrees, but I wanted to be sure the internal temperature was high enough for the pork to be really tender. So a probe thermometer was set to alarm at 180 degrees. And now all we had to do was wait. The recipe said to roast for 8 hours, but it took over 9 hours to reach the target temperature. However, the wait was definitely worth it.
This looks done already. However, the best is yet to come.
At this point, we covered the pot and set the oven to 500 degrees. And then the roast goes back into the oven to give it a good crisp skin.
Oh boy. Smoke is from the parchment paper. Oh man. Now we still have to give it a final 15-minute resting time, but look at this.
And after a final 15-minute rest, here is our roast pork shoulder. If there was any concern about the pork drying out from roasting for nearly 10 hours, it turned out there was nothing at all to worry about.
Seems like whenever anybody does one of these kind of videos, you just have to have a sampling of the cracklings, and I'm no exception. Can definitely say that is well done. Doing research for this video introduced me to pernil, a Latin American roast pork shoulder that's typically prepared in a manner very similar to this. Pernil is especially made as a holiday dish, usually at Christmas, but at many other times of the year as well. And I loved how easy this was to prepare. And the pork was so good, I'm seriously considering making this for my family at Christmas rather than the usual turkey. And once you've given this a try, you may find yourself thinking the same way and serving pork shoulder for the coming holidays. Thank you for watching.